Let me ask you a question. Have you ever spent the entire day being busy, yet found yourself accomplishing nothing meaningful by the very end? You do not lack time. What you lack is the ability to master your attention in a world that is designed to steal it from you. Today, based on research from the University of Pennsylvania, I will show you 6 micro-rituals powerful enough to reprogram your brain for deep focus. Stay with me until the very end, because the 7th ritual is the golden key that makes everything else work. Don't skip a single second. Your focus is worth more than 15 minutes of your time. Let us explore the science of how your mind actually reaches the flow state. In an age of constant distraction, the ability to focus is no longer just a skill. It has become a superpower for the modern elite. Most people live their lives in a state of reactive distraction, responding to every buzz and beep without ever realizing their potential for depth. We are going to dismantle these old habits and replace them with tiny, scientifically backed actions that will sharpen your concentration like a laser beam. Time is your most precious resource, but attention is the currency you use to spend it. It is time to stop wasting your mental wealth. By the end of this video, you will have a complete roadmap to reclaim your clarity and achieve more in hours than others do in weeks. Let us begin with the first ritual, a simple change that occurs before your feet even touch the floor in the early morning light. Ritual 1. Do not touch your phone for the first 15 minutes of your day. This is the clarity gap your brain desperately needs. I know you might say you need it for your alarm or urgent work emails, but hear me out on the neuroscience behind this. When you first wake up, your brain is in the alpha and theta states, which are the primary gateways for creativity and deep learning. Forcing a flood of chaotic information into your mind at this stage is an act of self-sabotage for your concentration and your peace. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, states that designing your environment is far more important than relying on your limited daily willpower. Keep your phone in a separate room overnight. This simple physical barrier prevents the instinctive urge to scroll before you are even fully awake. Instead of reacting to the world, use these 15 minutes to set your own agenda. Let your thoughts settle and your intentions for the day form. When you protect the beginning of your day, you protect the quality of your focus for the next 16 hours of your waking life. This is not just about avoiding technology. It is about reclaiming the sovereignty of your own mind before the digital world starts its demands. Think of this 15-minute window as a sacred space where no one else's priorities are allowed to penetrate your mental sanctuary or your peace. You will notice that without the immediate dopamine hit of a screen, your brain begins to generate its own thoughts and innovative solutions naturally. If you worry about waking up, buy a simple analog clock. Removing the phone removes the temptation that kills your deep focus before breakfast. The silence you cultivate now becomes the foundation for the deep work you will perform later. Silence is the ultimate fertilizer for great ideas. Every morning is a chance to reset. By choosing not to scroll, you are choosing to be the master of your own attention span. Now that your mind is clear, we move to the second ritual, how to trigger the flow state instantly through your physical senses. Ritual 2. Sensory anchoring. This is a powerful psychological technique used to tell your brain exactly when it is time to work hard. An anchor can be anything consistent: a specific playlist, a scent, or the physical sensation of putting on your favorite pair of headphones. This is based on Pavlov's conditioned reflex. When you pair a specific sensory input with deep work, your brain eventually builds an automatic connection. After repeating this ritual, the mere act of lighting that candle or starting that music will trigger your brain to enter a flow state. You won't have to fight yourself to focus anymore. The ritual does the heavy lifting for you by bypassing your conscious resistance and hesitation. I personally use the same sandalwood scent every time I write. Within minutes, my mind stops wandering and locks into the task at hand. Even a specific drink can serve as an anchor. The key is consistency. Do not use your work anchor for leisure activities or browsing. By isolating these triggers for work only, you create a neural shortcut. You are essentially hacking your own biology to produce productivity on demand. The ritual tells your subconscious, the playtime is over. The work time has begun. It provides a clear boundary in your daily life. Find what works for you. It should be something small, easy to execute, and pleasant enough that you actually look forward to doing it. This reduces decisional fatigue. You don't have to decide to focus. You just have to start the ritual, and the focus follows naturally. Choose a lo-fi or classical playlist without lyrics. Words in music can often compete with the words in your head, breaking your internal flow. Once the anchor is set, you will feel a sense of relief. Your environment is now working for you, rather than against your mental goals. Training your brain takes time, but within a week, this sensory cue will be more effective than any energy drink or motivational speech ever. With your anchor set, we must now address the digital clutter that threatens to pull you back out of that hard-earned flow state. Ritual 3, the single tab rule. We have been lied to about multitasking. In reality, it is nothing more than rapid task switching. Every time you switch tabs, your brain pays a switching cost. You lose a fraction of your cognitive energy and focus every single time. Research shows it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully regain deep focus after just one minor interruption or tab switch. The ritual is simple. Only have one single tab open that is directly related to your current task. Everything else must be closed or hidden. This sounds too easy, right? But the psychological relief of having only one thing to look at is the secret trigger for deep work. When you limit your options, you increase your power. Your attention becomes a laser instead of a light bulb that scatters its energy everywhere. You will feel the temptation to just check your email. Resist it. That 1 second of checking will cost you 20 minutes of your flow. If you need multiple sources, use a split screen. But never keep unrelated tabs like news or social media open in the background of your work. Flow is a fragile state. It is like a stream of water. Once you block it with a distraction, the momentum is lost and hard to restart. Treat your digital workspace like a physical one. You wouldn't work on a desk covered in trash. Don't work on a screen covered in tabs. The single tab rule forces you to commit. Commitment is the precursor to the flow state. It eliminates the escape routes for your wandering mind. Try this for just 60 minutes. You will be shocked at how much faster you finish your work when your brain isn't fighting itself. Full screen mode is your best friend. It hides the taskbar and all those little icons that are constantly screaming for your precious attention. By simplifying your view, you simplify your thoughts. A simple mind is a powerful mind, capable of solving the most complex problems effortlessly. But what happens when the stress of the work itself becomes a distraction? That is when we use the power of the biological reset. Ritual 4, box breathing for 60 seconds. This is the exact technique Navy SEALs use to maintain peak performance during high-stakes combat situations. It works by stimulating the vagus nerve, which tells your nervous system to switch from fight or flight mode to rest and digest mode. When you are stressed, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus, shuts down. Breathing literally turns your focus back on by lowering cortisol. 60 seconds is all it takes. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. It is a biological reset button. Use this whenever you feel overwhelmed by your to-do list. It brings you back to the present moment, which is the only place flow exists. You cannot think your way out of stress, but you can breathe your way out of it. Your body is the gateway to your mind's performance. This ritual is micro because it requires no equipment and very little time, but its impact on your cognitive clarity is absolutely massive. Notice how your shoulders drop and your jaw relaxes. A relaxed body allows for a sharp mind. Tension is the enemy of the flow state. By flooding your system with oxygen and stabilizing your heart rate, You provide your brain with the fuel it needs to maintain deep concentration. The chaos of the world outside doesn't change, but your ability to process it does. You become the eye of the storm, steady and focused. This is not meditation in the traditional sense. It is a high-performance tool used by the world's most disciplined individuals to stay sharp. The more you practice this micro-ritual, the faster you can enter that state of calm. It becomes a portable sanctuary you carry with you everywhere. It clears the mental fog that accumulates after hours of work. It is like clearing the cache on a computer to make it run faster. Work becomes a dance instead of a struggle. You are no longer pushing against the world. You are moving with the rhythm of your breath. As the day winds down, we need to prepare the brain for the next cycle. This brings us to the fifth ritual of the evening. Ritual 5. The Unplugging Journal. Every night before bed, write down the 3 most important things you must accomplish tomorrow. Only 3. This utilizes the Zeigarnik effect, the psychological phenomenon where our brains stay obsessed with unfinished tasks, creating a constant background hum of anxiety. Studies from Baylor University found that people who wrote down their to-do lists fell asleep much faster than those who didn't. It clears your mental cache. By putting it on paper, you tell your brain it is handled. You can rest now. This prevents the midnight worry that kills tomorrow's focus. You aren't just planning your day, you are protecting your sleep. High-quality sleep is the ultimate foundation for high-quality attention the following morning. Don't overcomplicate this. It shouldn't take more than 2 minutes. The micro nature of this ritual is what makes it so sustainable and effective. Your brain is for having ideas, not for holding them. Free up your cognitive space for tomorrow's creative breakthroughs by offloading them tonight. When you wake up, you won't waste energy wondering where to start. You will hit the ground running because your plan is already waiting for you. Deciding what to do is often harder than actually doing it. Separate the planning from the doing to maximize your efficiency during work hours. Why only 3? Because focus requires priority. If everything is important, then nothing is. Choosing 3 ensures you focus on what actually moves the needle. This ritual builds trust with yourself. Every time you complete those 3 things, you prove to your subconscious that you are a person of action. Interestingly, once you write the tasks down, your subconscious mind often works on solving them while you sleep. You wake up with more answers. The mental weight you carry throughout the day can be heavy. This ritual is the act of putting that weight down so you can recover. It's a tiny bridge between the chaos of today and the potential of tomorrow. Cross it every night to maintain your long-term focus and sanity. Now, let's talk about the final environmental ritual that aligns your brain with the ancient rhythms of nature and the rising sun. Ritual 6. Sunlight exposure within 10 minutes of waking. This is about more than just waking up. It is about your fundamental biological clock, as expert Andrew Huberman explains. Morning sunlight triggers a healthy spike in cortisol, which acts as a natural alarm clock for your focus. This cortisol spike isn't just for energy. It sets a timer in your brain that determines exactly when melatonin will be released later that night. By getting sunlight, you are literally programming your brain for deep work 8 hours later and deep sleep 16 hours later. It is all connected. You don't need to stare at the sun. Just being outside for 10 minutes is enough. Even on cloudy days, the light intensity is significantly higher than indoors. We are biological creatures living in a digital world. When we ignore our biology, our focus suffers. When we respect it, our focus thrives effortlessly. This ritual regulates your mood and your metabolic health. A happy and healthy body is much easier to keep focused than a neglected one. Combine this with the no-phone ritual, and you have a powerhouse morning routine that takes less than 15 minutes but changes your entire day. Artificial light at night is a poison for your focus, but natural light in the morning is the antidote. It is the most powerful focus drug available. Our ancestors lived by the sun for millions of years. This ritual taps into that primal wisdom to give you a modern competitive edge in productivity. It's about alignment. When your internal clock matches the external world, you stop fighting against your own fatigue and start moving with energy. Notice how much more alert you feel compared to the days you stayed in a dark room scrolling on your phone for an hour. This simple biological trigger is the missing piece for many people who struggle with brain fog in the morning. Let the light clear it away. You are now primed for deep work. Your environment is set. Your mind is clear. Your body is regulated. And your priorities are written down. But there is one final piece to this puzzle. Without it, all these rituals can feel like a chore. This is the secret ritual number 7. The secret ritual is gratitude. I know it sounds soft, but the science of performance is very clear about its psychological and physiological benefits. Robert Emmons, a leading expert, found that practicing gratitude can reduce stress hormones by 23%. Stress is the primary killer of the flow state. If you perform these rituals with a mindset of resentment or pressure, they will eventually fail. You will see them as another to-do list. Instead, be grateful for the fact that you still have the capacity to train your attention. Many have lost it entirely to the digital noise. Gratitude shifts your brain from a state of scarcity to a state of abundance. In abundance, your mind feels safe enough to focus deeply. Sustained focus is not a destination you reach. It is a reflex that you design through your daily actions and your internal attitude. Before you start your deep work, take 10 seconds to think of one thing you are truly grateful for. It opens your mind to focus. Which of these 6 micro-rituals will you implement tomorrow morning? I want you to pick just one and comment it down below right now. Your journey to deep focus begins with that one small commitment. Join us on this path of reclaiming our minds and our ultimate success. I am your host, and this has been The Success Paradox. Thank you for your attention. It is the most valuable thing you could give. Go out and build your own flow. The world is waiting for the work only you can do when you are truly focused and present. See you in the next video, where we will dive even deeper into the mechanics of high performance and the art of living well.